Lee, I love shorthanded play. I've been seeking out shorthanded games my whole life.
I put you in a small minority, you know that.
Well, and it's appreciated. I was at the Oaks the other day, signed up for the 2-5 game, and the foreman comes up to me. I'm sitting on the bench waiting and goes, "So how many people do you need to start?" And I was like, "Well, 3, if you count the dealer."
If you count the dealer, right. There's a lot of situations where shorthanded play can happen by accident. If you come in at the beginning of the day and you want to start a game, or 3 people go out to take a smoke break, or it's late at night, whatever it is, you may find yourself in a situation where it would be convenient or necessary for you to play shorthanded.
I'll sit with you all for a while.
One thing that's interesting about shorthanded play is if you are a winning player, you should actually win more money playing shorthanded properly. And the reason is because the way that you win money at poker is by making better decisions than your opponents do. Well, when you're playing shorthanded, you get to make more decisions per hour than you do if you're playing, say, 10-handed or 9-handed.
Yeah. That's the truth. More decisions per hour means more money per hour.
We have what I think is a somewhat new, perhaps unusual perspective on how to treat your shorthanded play. And the exciting news is it doesn't require much work on your part to do it. We're going to use a 10-handed game as an example. And let's say that in the first 5 positions after the blinds, you're playing a 15% VPIP.
Okay.
And then when you get to the hijack, you go to 25%. In the cutoff, you're playing 30%. On the button, you're playing 40%. And in the blinds, you have a VPIP of 25%.
Okay, so this is just our example to do some math.
Right, season to taste for your own game and the way that you play.
The presumption here is that you're playing much tighter in the early seats and you play more hands as it comes back around.
So 15% in the first 5 positions, 25 in the hijack, 30 in the cutoff, 40 on the button, 25 in the blinds.
Okay, so based on those numbers, we can run a calculation and come up with our overall VPIP, which is voluntarily put money in the pot.
Right.
So what we're talking about is how many flops do we see?
Right.
And so if we run those numbers, we come up with
22%.
22%. So if these are your actual numbers by position, then your overall VPIP is 22%. So what happens when we come down to 5-handed? And now we're getting to the meat of what we're talking about. This is kind of a new way of looking at this. The common way of thinking about shorthanded that we want to debunk here is the idea that, oh, it's shorthanded, I'll play more hands, like an excuse to play more hands.
Right.
What we're going to show you is that in shorthanded games, yes, you should be playing more hands, but you should not be playing more hands per position. So now let's look what happens when we go to 5-handed. Those 15%ers are all gone.
Yes, the 5 seats where you were playing 15% VPIP.
Right. So obviously this is going to raise your overall VPIP without changing anything.
Exactly.
So if you did nothing but continue to play 25% from the hijack and these other numbers and didn't change a single thing, and all you did was eliminate those 5 seats, now your VPIP is up to around 30%.
Let's say that you were doing a 25% VPIP in the blinds. However, you are probably defending the blinds more against late position opens. Let's say that your VPIP goes from 25% to 30% because essentially all of the opens that you're facing are coming from late position.
But you're still playing how you did before.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You are still treating a cutoff open from the blinds as you would 10-handed.
Exactly.
It just so happens that so many more of the opens that you're facing are coming from the cutoff. And if that's what happens, you end up with an overall VPIP around the table of 31%. So you've gone from 22% 10-handed to 31% 5-handed without changing a single thing that you were doing.
let's say that you're on the button with Jack 10 suited and it's folded around to the cutoff and he opens. And he's kind of a loosey-goosey opener. And at that moment in that game, at that time, you decided to 3-bet him.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't really matter if there were 2 other people that folded first or 20.
Yes.
It's completely irrelevant how many empty chairs are at the table at the moment that that contest begins. So that's the whole idea, is that you're playing each position the way you play each position. You don't need to vary from that. And your VPIP will go up because all of the low VPIP seats are gone. Don't think to yourself, oh my goodness, it's shorthanded. I have a license to play loose.
Yes.
You just play exactly how you do in each position, and that's it.
What will happen is you'll see other people starting to play weaker cards.
Yeah.
And as long as you stick to your game, you're just going to be showing up with better cards than they are, and you'll be making better decisions and making more money.
People say, well, my opponents are playing looser. It's shorthanded, so I should play looser to make more. I'm like, no. The looser they play, the more you make, period.
Right.
You just have to wait till it's your turn to make money.
Yes. You just get more turns to make money.
More opportunities per hour.
Shorthanded play can actually be super profitable, super fun, because you're getting to play more, right?
Yeah.
You went from a 22 VPIP to a 31 VPIP. It's playing more hands. We won't say it's playing more poker because we think that folding is playing poker too.
Right.
But you are playing more hands.
Let's say you're at the casino and they're getting ready to start a game, and you're like, okay, there's only 5 players. I like to play when there's 7 players. If you happen to be one of those people, I suggest that you become not that.
Right.
Because these are the opportunities.
It really is. And you see a lot of people, Tommy, who, when the game drops below 7, there's some guy who's table change, right?
Yeah.
And then when it drops below 6, there's 2 guys that are table changing. The next thing you know, I have an empty table, and there's nothing sadder than a poker game breaking.
Get down, Daddy! Yeah. No more! No, not tonight!
That's another reason to love shorthanded, is you can be the guy that keeps the game going.
And while you're keeping the game going, you're making more money. And it's the kind of thing you should keep track of, because if you follow this and you just stick to your game and play it correctly, and you pay attention to your results during those periods, you may very well find that you're making more money playing shorthanded.
Oh yeah, you should find that.
These two have no idea what they're about to walk into. Down here to have a good time, they figure, why not give poker a try?